Well, after all those months of ideas, thinking and planning and building, it's finally here. We're right down in the base of a quarry, and these are the slabs that you've been watching us make. Okay, at the moment you can only see one of them. Hanging above my head is a 1-ton ball. I'm not going to push these over. That 1-ton ball will swing back, hit this one, and the whole idea is to start the domino effect along the row of 8 that I have here now on display, just as we dreamed up all that time ago. Now, let me take you on a little trip along these 8 monumental pieces of concrete. They really are. Each one of these weighs 5 tons. It's about 12 feet high, and they're about 5 feet wide. They're just over a foot thick, because I never did learn metric. Now, the men at the back, each of those has a specific job to do, and then that is checked up on twice more by 2 other guys, so the safety element is enormous. This, by the way, can I just show you down here, we have a large sleeper. All of these are mounted on sleepers because we've had very heavy rain. And sadly, when we started to put them up before, they were sinking and toppling and tipping before even the ball hit them. So we've had to put them on there, distribute the weight evenly across the earth so they wouldn't sink in. And we started to sink in, so we put bark chippings down so I could walk on it. And the whole thing leads up to this. And the reason it leads up to this is where the escape will finally take place. What escape? Well, look at it. These restrain my wrists, this my neck, these my body. The chains get locked, these get locked around my ankles. And I have got to get off this and out of the hut that's hanging above at the moment. That hut's going to come down, I'll tell you. And I've got to get out of that door and across that line between the 2 flags in 3 minutes. I've got 3 minutes of time left to get out before the ball is pulled back and then released towards the end domino, a 5-ton domino. I'm hoping this is going to work, but I've got no intention of dying, all right? So what I've got to do is point this out. This cable going off here to this truck is specially laid out like this, so that man makes a decision in there. He makes a decision. If he sees it all firing off behind there, he's got to pull the whole sledge away on this very high-powered machine. And even under the wheels on that, we've had to put grids and just hope we get enough traction. Fine, so that's what the basic idea is, a 3-minute escape before the domino effect takes place. Anything in that place is flattened like the eggs were, okay? So, who's going to restrain me? Well, we have 2 gentlemen who are totally independent of the BBC. One is Stephen Joyce, he's the general manager here, and the other, from Chubb, Frank Post. Nice round of applause for these 2 guys. Welcome, really good to see you. Hi there, thanks for coming along. Now, I know it's not the hottest night of the year, is it? It's not the warmest night of the year, it's a bit nippy. And I'll just check with him first. Now, you've got, from the Chubb factory, a set of locks in there that no one at the BBC has seen.
Absolutely right.
You're not, we haven't been allowed to play with them.
Not at all. Not at all.
No, no. And you have been very generous to us in letting us play in your pit. You've got
You're very welcome in our quarry.
quite a sand pit you've got here. What do you get out of it?
Chalk and clay
Sure.
in manufacture of cement.
I know you make cement because we used it to do this. And it's a fine display. But again, a big thank you. You're the one who's actually going to tie me to the board, as I understand it, yeah?
Right.
And you're the one that checks that the locks and
That's right.
do the keys. Okay, yes. Because you see, with an illusion of this sort, an escape of this sort, whatever you want to call it, there were no rehearsals. You cannot rehearse this because it would be too expensive to put it all back together. So the 3 minutes that we've been talking about is a kind of an overall average of when I've been able to do it with the locks that I knew about. So now, as you know, I'll be tied up there.
Right.
I won't be able to talk. Could be a first for British television. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce a commentator to you who's very used to being in quarries, especially when he used to make the Doctor Who series. Will you please welcome John Pertwee? It's slipping, John, it's slipping. John, I was right. You were always in quarries doing Doctor Who?
I was always up to my neck in the gazunga.
In the gazunga. Well, you're up to it again, aren't you? Welcome home. Welcome home. Now, John, as I say, I can't talk. The wind's getting up a bit. It's starting to blow the hut about. So I'm going to send you up there with Debbie and take over the commentary when I hand over, when I'm fastened down.
Right,
okay?
right.
And, oh, just before you go, the people at home will be very worried hearing applause in the middle of a quarry. But I'd best explain, we didn't want you to think it was a camera trick at all, so we invited an audience in, and they're sitting over there. Give me a mad wave to show you live. There we are. There we are. Live, but very frozen. Yes, well, hopefully this won't take too long. 3 minutes from when the hut comes down. John, you go up there, and fellas, would you like to start fastening me on the board? Okay, just scrape the mud off here. Scraping the mud off, you see. If I'm going to go tidy, all right? Okay, now this goes in here. This goes in here. I don't know which, you do it in any order you like, yeah. Okay, now, the other thing I've got to point out is it looks as though your hands can come out of here, but these are being checked by Stephen as well, and your hands can't pull out. Thanks, Stephen. Yes. Make sure I was welcome in your quarry.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Oh, you're up there, John. Okay, I'll hand over noisily now to John as he finishes off wrapping me down here. John, it's all yours.
Right. Well, now, from up here, I've got a real grandstand view, and I can see everything absolutely... Well, I can't, actually. That's quite untrue. I've got the glasses on now. I can see everything quite clearly. Now, as you can see, they are now strapping Paul onto his plinth. He's going to be padlocked up by a gentleman from Chubbs with a collection of brand new padlocks brought that have never been seen before by anybody connected with this escape. The site manager is now padlocking Paul. Now, in a moment, the hut is going to be lowered down over Paul. And there it will be very tightly secured by ropes on the corners, so that in event of an emergency, when the truck hurriedly pulls the sled out, it won't in any way collapse and will stop the wall collapsing on top of Paul. This is only an event of an emergency, of course. Now, what's going to happen is that at the end there, you will see a very big crane with a 1-ton demolition ball hanging from it. Now, at a given signal, there's an electrical button which I will press, and when I press this button, it will then swing forward and will hit the first concrete slab. Now, Paul has got to be out of his chains and out of that hut to avoid the concrete slab at the end coming down and crushing the hut and himself. Now, I think Paul is now well strapped in, and now you will see they're going to lower the hut over him. Now, all the assistants down here have all got independent witnesses watching them. Everybody has 2 independent witnesses watching. Good luck, Paul. Hut is now covering Paul. They're now securing it now at all 4 corners and releasing the lifting mechanism. Paul is now in that hut. How are you doing down there? All secured? Is everything secured? Okay, they've now cleared. Good. Any minute, the demolition ball to be pulled back. There it goes.
Well, that's it for this series. We'll see you next time on the Paul Daniels Magic